Okay, so I'm back on our vocabulary page here and hopefully helping you pick out some of the important ideas from this trimester. First of all, we should add CPCTC, which is corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent, which basically means if you know two triangles are congruent, then you know their parts are congruent. Okay, so I would add that to your notes. That's from the last section. We should also, unless you already know the meaning, add isosceles triangle, which has two congruent sides. Here's the leg and here's the base. But if you already know that one, you don't need to write that one down. And then we have equilateral triangles, which have three congruent sides. And equilateral triangles are equivalent to equal angular triangles, which have equal angles. So equilateral triangles are equal angular triangles. The next thing we need to add is the isosceles triangle theorem, and this is what we're going to do in this new section. It says if two sides of a triangle are congruent, then the angles in that triangle that are opposite those sides are congruent. And I think it'll make more sense when we actually start working some problems out. But I do want to point out that the converse of the isosceles triangle theorem is also true. I'm not going to write it down because I know that you know how to get the converse of this. The original conditional was if two sides of a triangle are congruent, the angles are congruent. You know how to write the converse, so you can either write the converse down or just remember that the converse is also true when you need it, and recognize whether you're being given the original conditional or the converse. Okay, another theorem that we will talk about says that if a line bisects the vertex of an isosceles triangle, so like this, then the line is the perpendicular bisector of the base. So it's a perpendicular bisector of this base. And we will talk about that also. So that's just a little bit of vocabulary for you. I would pause the video now and write some of these things down. Like I said, maybe you already know the triangle ones, so you don't have to write those down. But if you don't, or if you're a little unsure, it never hurts. So pause now and write these things down, and then we'll use them in the next section.